James Gallahger, Wilkes-Barre. I have three topics to just discuss before council, two of which I really don't know the legal issues to, but I'll present them anyway. The first topic is we have over 200 surveillance cameras within the city. With the Cold Street project completed months ago, maybe even longer, there are no surveillance cameras on this street at all. I believe, I'm just asking, maybe we put a camera on the corner of Cole, Wilkes-Barre Boulevard, Cole and North Sherman, and Cole and North Empire. I believe 3 surveillance cameras on this main strip, since it's a main thoroughfare in and out of the city, from our downtown to all the entertainment venues up at the mall area, would probably help deter some type of crime, especially up by North Empire Street. Also, with the surveillance cameras throughout the city, maybe council should also look at maybe moving some of the surveillance cameras to higher crime areas of the city, because we all know where there's higher crime and we all know where there's lower crime. Maybe we should position these cameras in and around higher crime areas. Again, don't know the legal issue to that, but I just thrown it out there. Also, Cole Street has over 90 new streetlights. And the downtown South Main Street, or Main Street, Washington Street, and Franklin Street also has these new streetlights on them. And each one of these streetlights has like rods hanging out from them for banners or whatever they are there for. I propose before council maybe using this space as maybe an advertisement. Use it as an advertisement, charge like a fee for local businesses, or whoever wants to pay maybe let's say a $20 fee a month. It would create a revenue of, let's say just on Cole Street, there's 90 lights. 90 plus lights on Cole Street, you're talking about $1,800 a month. For the year, you're talking over $20,000 just for Cole Street alone, and that's not including any of these streets in the downtown area. I think the businesses would probably get onto that too, with advertising, let's say a street light right in front of their business, put a nice little banner advertising their business. The last thing I would like to present before council is, I don't know the legal issue for this, but it would be a revenue cash cow for the city, would be permit parking for the taxpayers of the city. The taxpayers pay their fair share of taxes to run the city, and I believe maybe, I know a lot of people fight for their spot in front of their house, maybe at a set fee, an annual fee maybe, they can have their spot in front of their house as, let's say, for permit-based parking. An annual fee of $60 per household. In a 2008 census on the website, had this city listed at 43,000 people. Let's say 5,000 people jump on this for $60 a month, you're talking $300,000. It's a lot of money for the city. I don't know the legal end to it. Obviously there's streets with only one side parking as opposed to other streets with 2 parking on both sides. It would also be
maybe a year.
It would also create not only the revenue, but it would also, the taxpayers of the city would have their spot. It would probably be more likely to maintain the cleanliness of that spot, and also it would create and push the people that aren't paying taxes and aren't supposed to be in the city out. Maybe that would just throwing it out there. I don't know the legal issues to any of these topics, but just throwing it out there. And that would be it.
Cameras, we will make sure that the board that controls those, I wasn't aware there aren't any on Cole Street either. That's a good idea.
There are. No.
There are? Okay.
There are. They're just set back on Sherman Street, overlooking Cole Street.
Okay.
And I want to say closer to 309, we have some off the main drag, but it's looking on the
I've seen those, but I just, like on the main corners.
They look out right on Cole Street.
They do?
Yeah.
Would it be better maybe to position them on the main street as opposed to, I know the one on Sherman Street you're talking about, Greg. It's actually well off to the street, but yeah, it is directed toward it, but maybe.
Yeah, we just got an accident there the other day.
Okay.
The locations are determined by the police and the board as well. And always a good idea to keep that option open as far as moving around. I agree the banners, anyone? I know we looked at that before.
We do have banners,
We
yes.
have some on
You do?
top.
Okay.
Well, if you look, I just know on the square, they're in front of businesses.
Do we
No
charge,
particular one, yes.
Do we charge any? Okay.
Yes.
Permit parking, we have several permit parking areas in the city. Where, in the area of the hospitals, in the area of the university and college, where the residents do pay a fee for permits to allow them to park on the street, and those without permits would be ticketed for parking in those locations. Is that what you're speaking about?
No, I'm talking about like
Preferred spot.
a citywide. I know there's spots. I know there's probably a legal issue to that, but I mean, with us always fighting for revenue, I mean, this could probably.
I'm sure there'll be some legal issues related to leasing public rights of way throughout the city.
And there are some streets that have no parking available, so those homes have to park on another street, those taxpayers have to park somewhere.
Yeah, it's done on a as-needed basis, depending on whether there's off-street parking available. There's a lot of factors that come into play, and the amount of parking that is available or is not available in a lot of cases. But that's something we can just run by the traffic committee, just let them know about it.
Just throwing it out there, because like,
That's okay.
even if 5,000 people were to jump on it, in fact, $30,000, I mean, that's a lot of money for the city.
Agreed. Thank you.
Just quit spending money. You'd save money too.
Under Urban?